Oh, look at that.
Whoa, look at those effects.
So
Yeah, we do it right on the Thursday.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey everybody,
Tomorrow,
welcome
Tuesday.
to the Unreal Engine weekly live stream. I'm Chances Alexander over here, your community
Hey.
team. We brought some of our friends from the Learning Resources side of the world, and DevRel, Alan and Lauren. I'm sure you have seen them on the, well, I guess on this live stream and on the Tuesday trainings
Mhm.
multiple times. So thanks for carving out the time to come hang out with us.
No problem.
We're going to talk about a new product we're going to actually release to you guys. It's a big content example and something we're actually going to put in the store as well, so you can kind of see it all fully featured. But it's Unreal Match 3. It's a fully featured mobile game, and we're going to be able to, once it's all out there, show you kind of how to do just about everything for mobile these days. But before we do that, let's hop on over to the news, Shelly.
Oh, let me change it from the
Oh.
bottom again. Hang on.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hang on.
Yes. All right, Alex, load that news.
There it
Friend.
goes.
Dun dun dun.
Why is it not there?
There we go.
There we
Great.
go.
All right, so if you don't follow us anywhere and you're just like, how did I get on this channel? You probably didn't know that 410 is out, but it is. So we released 410 yesterday with a number of great fixes coming in from the community and new features. So thank you very much to all of our contributors this time. There's a number of, it's like across the board fixes and updates, right? I think like every platform got some love. There's all the VR enhancements from Bullet Train that we built specifically for rendering there. They're in this build as well. So if you've been waiting,
Studio
Studio
2015,
yay! So if you've been waiting out for some of this stuff, I definitely suggest going and downloading now. You can read the full release notes on our blog, or on the forums, or on the docs page. They are everywhere.
Yes.
So
and yeah, we'll dive more into the stuff that came in 410.
yes,
another time.
yeah. I'll mention it again at the end of the stream, but we're gonna have Fricker and Josh Adams on to chat through it next week on Thursday. So for a deeper dive, we will wait out for now. They were sick, and so we're gonna wait till they maybe get less sick.
All right.
All right.
Next
What's
up?
next? Oh yeah. So if you've been following, hit a refresh on that. If you've been following what Epic Games has been doing, I've been preparing for victory. But there we go. Paragon is a new game that we
This is
have
so
have
slick.
announced, and we're dropping info on new heroes every single week. So Steel was announced today. Twin Blast last week. We didn't really get to talk about it because we were at GitHub last week. So if you did tune in, you saw Alan on the stream, which is awesome.
It was a good time. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you haven't signed up for the beta or signed up to find out more information, head up to Paragon. It's epicgames.com. You can find the link to it there, or playparagon.com. But yeah, Steel. He looks very angry.
Love
He looks amazing.
Really
Yeah.
tough looking. All right. Next up
I mean,
on the
Steel is kind of
agenda.
angry. Oh yeah. So in other IP news,
Wait, people are always like, you guys have so many games coming out. It's like,
Yeah.
and here's another one.
Yeah, I know. I wonder what's next. Yeah, it's a Spy Jinx. This is a Chair and Bad Robot collaboration. So J.J. Abrams and his outfit have been working with Donald Mustard and their team out in Salt Lake to bring this brand new IP out to everybody. So I'm excited about it. You can head over there and sign up for the beta as well. Watch some videos about the team talking about the inception of the business relationship and kind of what they plan to accomplish with all this. And they've got forums and stuff set up too, so you can hop on and speculate with the rest of them.
Yep. And yeah, and then they actually have a store where you can actually buy shirts for it already. So
Yeah,
that's
Oh,
always
right on.
pick up your Spy Jinx
that's always
shirt.
pretty cool.
Oh, I hope we get some of those internally because I want that so bad.
I
It's
mean,
just
we were promised shirts. So.
it's such a wonderful name. Spy Jinx is
Spy Jinx.
Anyway.
All right. Next up.
And in other Epic Games news, there was a really great behind-the-scenes video series about the making of Titan Pass. And so the last video in that series is now up. It's been published to the Unreal Tournament blog. It's capture the flag base level. I don't know if you can read that text on the stream because it's it's black on gray and it might be a little bit compressed coming across, but really great content in there if you want to get some more behind the scenes from the UT team. I know they stream every week and I talk about most of the stuff anyway, but I could listen to them chat forever because they're some of my favorite designers, especially when it comes to competitive multiplayer. So I would encourage you to go check that out. It's really great. Oh, are you moving?
Whoa.
This text
Oh,
Whoa.
yes.
Shelly is getting the
Shelly has
fancy
got so
out.
many skills that are they're blowing us away. We don't really know what's going
Oh
on.
my gosh.
So good.
Yeah, this is really. I actually sat down and watched all these. This is great more than if you're just like a level designer too, because they get into a lot of the architecture stuff. So if you're into like more ArcViz or environment art, holy crap, the environment art discussion in it is amazing. So
That's great.
please check that out.
Do it.
All right.
All right. And not. Oh, wait. Oh yeah. So in non-Epic games news, but in games news, we've got a really great new showcase posted to our unrealengine.com/showcase on Grip. I don't know if you guys had seen this. They had a Kickstarter not long ago. It got some. Oh, there we go. Got some. Generous amount of buzz like rolling around. It's kind of Roll Cage reinvented. I don't know if anybody remembers Roll Cage on the PlayStation, but it's a game where I certainly do.
Back in the day.
Wonderful racing game. And anyway, Grip's looking awesome. You can read this really great discussion with Caged Element on our showcase right now.
Yeah. And
What's up next?
This actually got put into the Nope, that's not it. That is going to the wrong thing. So
Oh
that-
goodness.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
right on.
yeah, I noticed something.
So
was
yeah,
wrong.
you can go and pull it up from here.
I'm gonna cheat.
Yeah,
so just know
we've got some other information coming up here, but we're going to talk a bit about the Epic Mega Jam and some of the wrap up there.
There we
But
go.
Guardians, one of the teams that won our Eye Candy Award and one of Algorithmic's awards, they wrote a really great write up.
Yeah,
Wrote a really great write up.
Team Blazing Badger sat down and created this really great like making of little series here. This is a full breakdown of their blueprints, their art design, like concept to completion.
There's some
That's
really,
awesome.
really good content in here.
Mhm.
I read through this whole thing and I was like, man, there's
Yeah.
nothing more valuable to me as a developer to see the thought process of other developers and how they tackle problems, both at a macro and a micro level. And so you get quite a bit of that.
Yeah.
Let's
Plus
see.
barrel rolls.
You say, oh, I think
How to implement a
you
barrel
said
roll.
barrel rolls? I thought you said bear overalls.
Overall.
I was like, wait, I don't remember reading that in there.
Is that the game
I
jam
knew.
theme?
It's our next sample game.
Yes, bear overalls. I love it. All right, that's the game jam theme. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
And so Grip. Let's
So-
hop from Grip real quick.
Yes.
So yeah, Friday the 13th
Friday the
game.
13th, the game.
Other game news. This is a really fantastic Kickstarter that we were gonna bring up in here because they were so close to hitting their goal and they hit it before we could talk about it. So
we were about to be like, yeah, guys, come help them out. But yeah, they're actually going for their second stretch goal now. So if you haven't heard yet, and you should have, Friday the 13th, the game is coming out where you get to play as, I think it's Jason and the counselors, and you have to kind of try to kill each other kind of thing. But tomorrow is actually Friday the 13th, and that's when this whole thing is going to be finalized.
oh wow.
And
What amazing timing.
it's-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually pretty sick. And if you watch the movies, their stretch goals are legitimately kills from the movies that were like iconic. The like the picking the camper up in the sleeping bag and slamming them against a tree, slamming someone's face into some shards of glass. I think
Sounds
they have
like really
the-
lighthearted.
Yeah,
kid-friendly.
it's a really brutal game, but awesome.
Great.
And yeah, congratulations to them.
Yeah. So if you want to back it, you've got a day and a half left to do so. I suggest you do it because it looks awesome.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Oh yeah, MIGS.
Yes.
If you're going to be at MIGS or if you're in Montreal, you should come to MIGS if you don't plan on it already. But we are going to be up there, I guess Sunday. Yeah, it starts on Sunday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We've got a number of different talks. Alex, can you scroll down just a little bit
Oh,
just so we can get
yes.
some of that
Sorry,
information up?
let me
Yeah.
get all this on
So
there.
Zach and Celia, and I think it's just Zach and Celia are giving different talks on a number of things. So it's like masterclass shops, and then Keith
Keith
Garrett
Garrett.
from Ex
Yeah.
Naughty Dog is doing like a VFX talk using
Yep.
Unreal.
Oh,
so that's
cool.
really awesome.
And then
Yeah.
Joe Graff will be at the booth, of course.
Joe Graff, Joe Kreiner, a number of people. So we'll have a small booth up there as well. If you're in the area or if you're at the show, for sure, please swing by, say hello. We'd
Mhm.
love to get to meet you.
Yeah.
Alan, did you go up to the East Coast Dev Tour last year? Were you on that, or I think you were back home at that time?
Yeah,
You
no, I
get to
didn't do
make it.
East Coast, no.
It was really great to get to chat with developers in Montreal. There's a lot of talented individuals up there, and we did that on the heels of MIGS last year, and it was a super awesome experience. So if you get the opportunity to do it, I suggest you do. Cool.
Cool.
All right. And then, Alar's alignment nodes like a pro blog. So
Yep.
you may have seen from Andrew's,
Yeah.
we tweeted out about the auto alignment.
Yeah, because in 4.10 now we have this really great feature that you can just like right click and say, hey,
Yeah.
align to whatever.
A long time ago, people went nuts for it. We were like, I can't wait to get this out in 410. Well, you had to right-click and decide how you wanted to do it. So, of course, everyone's favorite Michael Aller went through and decided that he was going to make a way that you could just hotkey it.
Yeah.
So you can just select the
Nice.
ones you want and hit the hotkey and it'll auto-align for you. No clicking necessary outside of your drag. Just super rad.
Should hook that up to like a MIDI
Yeah.
pedal or something so you can see like align vertical,
hey,
align,
Alex, can-
you know?
Can you grab to our YouTube real quick? I think we had a couple of video video
Yes.
series I wanted to call out real
Yeah,
quick.
alright.
So a lot of people were waiting for the Epic Mega Jam video that we showed before. There's the complete highlights from all submissions. It's about 18 minutes long. It took a little bit longer to get up for a number of reasons.
It was 18 minutes long.
Yeah, go to the other one real quick. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, because this
So-
is almost 18
yeah.
minutes long.
Yeah, so there's quite a bit in there. Anybody, all the qualifying submissions that came through, meaning you had a game that worked, we could download it, it met the criteria. They're all in this video. So feel free to hop in there and drop in the comments and timestamp when yours is. I'd love to see, where they all were. A lot of people were asking for labels and stuff on the bottom for each of the games. I was like, I could do that, but you're not going to get it in 2015. So I decided that it's probably not worth it. It's probably worth to get the video up to you now and not waiting, so everybody can have a look at that. And then the second one Alex pulled up here is actually the highlights reel like we normally do. It's about
Yeah.
4 minutes long. And this is 20 games, including all of the winners. You can dive through and kind of see all the fantastic, just great games that were made this
Yeah,
last
these
round
these
around.
are definitely like the shiniest of them.
Yeah, if anybody, if we didn't communicate it well enough last time that it was very difficult to judge, watching this video alone would be like, yeah, okay, I understand. You guys use
Yeah,
the
because
30
looking
euro
at this,
crunching.
it's almost like going to like a GDC and seeing like the indie showcase
Yeah,
for like
totally.
UE4, like whatever.
There's
It
some-
looks like a showcase.
some
of,
great,
you know.
great games in there.
Oh,
we
yeah.
probably should have played that for the countdown. Dang it.
Missed opportunity.
No. Anyway, no, it's fine.
You could have hit play right now.
No, it's fine.
No,
We're good.
no, no.
And then there's one more video series we have up. It's we don't have to pull it up from here right now if we don't have it already, but the GitHub videos from last week that we did. It was a full day long mobile session. Alan was there talking about. You covered some match 3 stuff actually, didn't you?
Yeah, specifically content creation and optimization.
Yeah, so there's CCP talks, there's talks from GitHub themselves about using large files. Paul talked about project setup and using source control. There's just what?
Aller just showed up and missed his shout out. I'm
Oh.
sorry, buddy.
Right on time. Yes. No. Anyway, the videos are all up. There's probably
Yeah.
like 8 hours of really, really high quality content in there. We thank you very much GitHub for hosting us.
Yeah.
It was an
awesome.
awesome experience. I really wish I could have made it out, but watching it from afar was almost like being there. So if y'all tuned in, thank you very much. That's all up to YouTube now, and you can
Yep.
dive in and check it out.
And thank you to GitHub's video team. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I know we're burning through time here. So
Yep.
Alex, Community Spotlight.
Community Spotlight. Let's kill it. Let's do it. Do the thing. First up, Answer Hub. I'm gonna refresh in case anybody decided to mess with. Here's the score.
Back to the monitor.
Okay, the high score is Jackie.
Jackie again.
Jackie
Nice.
is number 1. C-Kong and M-House.
Oh,
So
yeah.
C-Kong is new.
It's a new one.
Yeah, M-House and Jackie are kind of old veteran champs now.
yeah.
Congrats.
So yeah, just remind everybody, this is the top karma earners for the Answer Hub. If you want to get a
Yes.
shout out here and an eventual forum badge once we can get the bits moved to the right positions.
Yes.
Hop on the Answer Hub and help people out. We're always, just kind of humbled by seeing the amount of time and effort people spend in just helping others.
Every
It's
time we
super
look at
awesome.
this, the numbers are like way higher and
Yeah,
way
it's-
like the bar gets higher and more difficult to reach
It's
each
great.
time.
So thank you very much,
Yes, thank you.
everyone, for all your help for the community there.
Alrighty.
Right.
Bam. All right. Full spotlight.
Now are we going to the monitor?
Now we're going to
Now we can go to the monitor.
Home run.
These aren't stock. I promise.
All right. So let's see. Today we've got Sovereigns has actually his proper name Scott McCutcheon, or maybe McCutcheon. I'm terrible with saying people's last names, and apparently at clicking links. So Scott has written this really amazing breakdown of his experience trying to get his game Ethereal Legends into OSVR, and it's a UE4 game. And so this is kind of this really great blog that he's made about here's where I started, I went through all the basics, but here's the things that you didn't expect to run into, and the weird like
Are you kidding
are you
me?
kidding me? Yeah, this weird kind
Can
of
you zoom in on that a little
bugs.
bit? It's a little tiny.
Can we oh, here we go.
There you go.
Bam.
Yeah.
There we go. Fancy.
OSVR installed.
Yeah, so this is a really great breakdown. Lots of, yeah, it talks about his caveats of figuring it all out. So this is good. I love to see when people kind of do something very cutting edge and new and discuss what kind of strange things they've encountered. So it's a lot of that. It's a great blog for that. So I'm gonna have that up in the launcher soon, I think. So that's a great one. Next up is. This was originally called Asteroids, but I think, yeah, they had to change the name to Asterus.
Because is Asteroids already a game?
I think so.
Oh.
It might have copyrights. But Asterus just put out their first trailer,
Hang on.
and
Oh, real quick, want to comment on this? Move your mouse.
oh yeah, what's up?
Look at that. They've got all the platforms up. They've
All
got
that.
where you can find them on Twitter and Facebook and on Twitch.
This is nice, yeah. That's
super
a good way to
awesome.
good way to
Pro.
lay out.
This is a
your-
project I want to follow now because these guys are everywhere, right? Like, help
Yeah,
me
see
this.
that, see that.
Anyway, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they got a Linux build. I'm just saying that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've got a bunch of really interesting screenshots up on their post, and I love the level layout. The enemies all kind of work on the donut torus shape. Everything's built around this giant torus that you ride on. Shelly, hit the video. It's pretty interesting. Because in reality, the game Asteroids takes place on a torus because that flat screen, the way that it wraps, it's the only shape that you could possibly be on. So it actually is kind of another take on that idea. And actually a lot of RPGs use that, so technically they don't live on planets, they live on these weird floating toruses in space, you know. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's it.
Can we say Ford Taurus on the stream?
We just did.
Okay, cool.
They'll give us money. Yeah,
Is that how that works?
Yeah, I think so. That's how sponsorship works. You just
Your
you say things.
arsenal.
Yeah, so it's all over.
Oh, look at those glowy effects. Awesome.
Yeah, he really goes all out with
Or
the
as Bill
particles.
Class would say, the glowy bits.
I love the
Ooh, yeah,
post-processing.
look at
that.
Lots of post-processing. It's this kind of like concept that's unique, but the final boss ideas and stuff.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, all right, you sold me. I'll play that.
Oh, and it fits into the A. Great work.
All
Awesome
right,
work.
Cool. Yeah, excellent work. All right. Next up, this one was brought to my attention by the community that there's a really cool toon shading toon shading plugin, and it's available on GitHub now. But I'm gonna just check out the forum post here because it actually has some images detailing exactly what it does. It really just adds a nice little thing to your models. It's drop down, and you can make them look very different. So here's a couple of kind of comparisons of that with the standard shader versus their toon shader. And it comes in, yeah, you have, I think, 6 different flavors kind of right now. But Arnage is going to be expanding this, I think. I've been kind of following it a little now. It's pretty cool. You can end up with some very nice cartoony effects.
Yeah, it
That's in engine.
Yes, this is in-engine, and you can actually kind of see the default
Yeah.
the
Looks
default
amazing.
ground back there.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there's actually like a full video of this character animated dancing and singing and all that.
I'd be
and it
curious to see the
looks-
character without the toon shader on, just to kind of see what the effects are side by
Yeah,
side. That's
yeah.
awesome.
I wonder if
though.
it looks like
that looks
really
great,
weird
though.
and disjointed without it. But yeah, I think this is a good effect, and they did a great job making a great toon shader, and it's available free on GitHub. So yay,
Oh, right on.
cool. And so
Yeah.
that's all the spotlights.
All right. Reminder, if anybody wants to be in the community spotlight, just reach out and find us somewhere. Post on the forums. I mean, we find a lot of this stuff from the work in progress
Yeah.
forums, release projects.
Mhm.
Sometimes we'll dive into Twitter. Things will be pinged and sent across our way on Twitter, and we'll be like, "That is awesome! I want to talk about this."
Yeah,
you
this
know,
time
so-
around it was Asterus and the toon shader that both brought to me. So I was like, oh cool, like I don't have to do I don't have to do any work now. These
But
are
it-
really
but
cool.
it's often hard sometimes, to choose what we highlight because you guys are doing so many amazing things out there. Yeah, we're always continually impressed by the work that you guys are so talentedly putting forward, I guess. Right.
There we go.
So, all right. Well, I guess we should talk about some cool stuff then. Now that we're past all that. So, Unreal Match 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got this thing. It's a new product. It's a new content example. It's going to be released someday, both to people with cellular phones and people with the Unreal Engine, or people with both, right?
Mhm.
So tell us a little bit about why we did it. I mean, like what brought us to build this entire full-on content example to release, and what can people expect, over the next from now until we're shipped and have all the resources ready for it?
So back in April, I was looking through some of the content examples or learning resources we have in the Learn tab and realizing we had a ton of blueprints things, but and we had some C++ sample games, shooter game, parts of strategy gamer and C++, but nothing of that like sort of smaller scope where you can see all the pieces and how they fit together. So
yeah, because I think even shooter game, I mean, for me diving into it, and I kind of understand the code base enough, I've lived in it enough, I still find times I've got to dig around a bit to really understand how things are interacting well, right? Like, and I can't break it modularly in my head and treat systems individually. So
right, so something on the scale of like the multiplayer shootout game, that's another sample in there, something that's sort of that middle of the smaller sample. And so Richard and I started working on the code for the project back then, and it was just placeholder art that I'd taken out of stylized demo and Couch Nights and the Kenny and L pack.
Yeah, great pack.
And then I think that code was sort of on and off for about 2 months. And they were like, well, then we can actually turn this into more of a full-fledged sample, and then started talking to Alan about sort of the art side of things and taking it into being a bigger.
Yeah, totally. So I think it's a really good example too of, as a DevRel tech artist, one of the questions I get a lot when I'm out in the field is how much is the right mix of Blueprint versus C++? And we always say, well, it really depends on your team, and I think this is a good example of that, right? It's a small team, small scope project, and we're able to mix and match C++ and show how a team can divvy up, divide and conquer the task and work
this
together.
Is mostly built by this the learning resources team, right?
Yeah, it was like 5-6 people on and off,
5
really.
or 6 people. Yeah, we had one of the Joey from the audio team jumped in and helped do audio, but it was like 2 days of here's the list of stuff, knock it out. We hooked it in. We had art from some of the marketplace content team.
Yep.
But it really has been sort of, I guess, over the past 6 months, 5 people working on and off, like the kind of thing you could do in your nights, your weekends.
Yeah, a day here, a couple hours there,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
But it's kind of cool because it's like a little bit of a passion project too. It's like y'all's little pet, little baby. You're gonna try to make awesome. And now we're seeing it, kind of come to completion. And
yeah, absolutely. I've wanted to do a match 3 game for a long time. I actually had a bunch of artwork from back in the day.
Yeah.
And so as we were kind of patching this thing together, I was like, well, let's just use this as placeholder stuff.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Mike Violet came through from Marketplace Content Team and did some really nice work on that. So it looks pretty good now.
Cool.
But yeah, definitely wanted to split up things like the grid and code handles all of the, moving the tiles down, all of that. But then, say when we were doing the audio, Joey says, oh, I want to make a sound when the tile lands. Can you give me a hook for that? And I just went in through a Blueprint implementable event and said, go put this event in your Blueprint, hook up the sound playing. And again, trying to split the stuff that, say, I or Richard as the programmers would have to care about, that also maybe things that are on tick, things that might be more intensive. And then the particles and all of the cool, if you want to pull up the game so we can start showing some of the
let's take a look at some of that stuff.
That was just a lot of Blueprint events being called at the right time in code.
Yeah,
so
like yeah, let's go ahead and pull that up here. We won't go into this too much, but basically by subclassing this thing as a blueprint, this is the grid object. Like the majority of the game happens in here, right? So there's all these nice little hooks.
All the logic happens in there.
All the logic happens in here, but there's nice little like I said, hooks where we went in and fiddled with colors and added camera shake and played particle effects, and we didn't have to bother Lauren with any of that sort of stuff. We could handle that on the creative side while she did the important work. So yeah, actually, we can go ahead and play this real quick if we have a second.
Yeah, go for it.
So this is in the.
We in fact have several seconds.
All right.
In 410, we got the mobile preview on there, so you could actually see how it'll look.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, and as mentioned, this will be available on the App Store. You'll be able to download this and play it on your phone as well. So let's see here.
And we actually are leaving in a lot of like the debug messages, so you can sort of see our thought process of like, hey, we were testing if achievements loaded. This is how you would do it on your own project. Of like read this in, how to process the output, that kind of thing.
What I really like about this as a content example too is you've got something that scales pretty far down. I mean, what is y'all's min supported device on the actual App
We've
Store?
got it on like 4S for iPhone, and then I think even an S3 on Android. So, and we even want to do at some point push sort of the higher end of art using some of the new material switches and things that are in 410. So, but yeah, it does. We're doing device profiles and things so it can go across the board.
Yeah. Ooh, should we show off? Can we go ahead and do that? We have a second to show off the night theme, our favorite theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
That's
one
your
thing that's
in-app
really cool,
purchase?
and something we get asked a lot about. I see it all over. It's like, can you show? I need an example of an actual living, working
Oh, it's
in-app
actually on the
purchase.
game instance now. Let me
In-app
check that real
purchase.
quick.
How would you implement
want
the
to
in-app
try?
purchases for Android and iOS? And that's one of my favorite things about this is because it kind of shows how to do that. If I were going to approach building a mobile game right now, I mean that would be a huge weight off, right? Like trying to
Yeah.
figure that part out because that's one of those that's kind of lives a little bit outside of the
makes
realm
sense.
of what you
Details
normally
nothing
do
new.
and everything else,
All right. So
relying on other SDKs.
yeah, we've got examples of incredible. There you go. You can play and pull that up now. Whoop. We've got examples of ads, both on iOS and Android.
Nice.
iAd on iOS, AdMob on Android. We've got achievements, leaderboards, the in-app purchase, which
Now these are achievements and leaderboards that are tied into the SDK or APIs
Right, exactly.
for both Google and iOS.
Mhm.
That's
So
cool.
you
Great.
Very
can
good.
compete with your friends. I think even in testing, we've already had people like try to
Yeah.
beat each other's high scores.
Yeah, I know
Um,
Dana said she's already addicted to it. We already.
And it's funny too. Like I'm looking at this
Yeah.
now, and I'm sure that we're going to see a number of people hop in and add, those other features that a lot of other match 3s have, like matching 4, matching the T, matching
Yeah.
5, and they're easy because you already have that information in here. You can kind of see how that scales into new mechanics, right?
Yeah, we actually you can change the grid. We made it scalable. I mean, when I first started programming it, I did. We're gonna go level select. And then
Oh, I have to go level select.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is all changed. All right.
Alan isn't very good at the game.
No.
It's okay. While he was at GitHub, we were getting ready, doing lots of stuff, getting ready to have it out
Alan
the
was
door.
not doing important work.
Yeah, I was head down in particles and camera shake while they did the important stuff. So.
No.
All right.
This game would not look nearly
There
as.
we go.
There we go. And then,
Can I just click on them? Cash.
Spend that money.
Cha-ching. Yes.
and then that should go. There you go. Yes.
I'm absolutely sure.
Yeah.
All right.
So
wonderful.
it's a simple cosmetic IAP in
Yes.
here, but you can actually kind of see how it grants your player the ability to have something else in the game building on the the IAP interface that both stores actually provide for you, which I think is super awesome.
Now,
Here, I can. Do
Ah,
you want
there you
to
go.
do more?
Let's
more?
let someone that knows what they're doing.
It's just because I set it up the other day.
now, how exactly did you implement the in-app purchases? Is that mostly Blueprint or all code, or?
So we wanted to do it in Blueprint so that people who did either a Blueprint project or a C++ project could just pull it up directly here in the map.
Could manage the same thing.
Could do this.
Yeah.
Could see how to do it.
Mhm.
And the other thing too is we figured we again tried to keep so much of the design side stuff in blueprints and the sort of nitty gritty guts of the game rules in code, so that we sort of kept that division straight. And again, it'd be probably the designer who's deciding on the achievements. No, you're just trolling.
Now, do you think it would be difficult to take like what you've done in Blueprints and like if someone knows their way around both, they could
Oh, they could
take it to
definitely take.
code?
It's basically a few function calls, restore
Yeah.
in-app purchase, or make in-app purchase, and do it there too.
It's one thing I really like about Blueprints is you can actually watch the flow of information, and I find it an easy way to map to code.
Yes.
I do that occasionally.
Just going to go into the level blueprint here. Because it's the same level, it's just going to look a little bit different. And so, use theme. Find that over here. And again, the in-app purchase is really just there so you could see how the flow would go. If we could have made it free, we would have loved to. That's the one thing that
Yeah.
it's just to be able to show how it would work in the store, we've got to put in the process of the in-app purchase.
Those purchases go directly to our bank accounts, right? Is that how we set it
Yes.
up?
There you go.
There
so
we
you wanna
go.
talk a little bit about your
Success.
the night
It's
theme.
the night theme.
The night. Yes.
The night
not
theme.
K-N-I-G-H-T. So I love that they've got a torch up there.
And so the reason that
Or is that a flaming sword? Or is that just a torch?
torch.
behind the
it's a
sword?
torch. So the way we did the in-app purchase is there's a boolean whether or not you've purchased it, and then a boolean in the level select on whether or not to use it. So you just to make sure those are both true.
Got
so
it.
that's
Yeah, and it shows menus based on, or it shows different options based on those states, right?
yeah.
That's pretty much it. That's pretty
so
straightforward.
it's pretty simple. And yes, so in the UI, we've got, we show how to use the platform-specific achievements, the platform-specific leaderboards. We just hook into the same screen that, Game Center uses or Google Play uses. And then some setting screens, like you could turn on or off your camera shake. You can turn force feedback on or off. You can change the music and the sounds, which I don't know if she cheered yet.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah, I saw her jump.
she should do it
Yeah.
any second now. Here we go.
So there you go.
Yay! I'm excited. So the Google Play stuff, is that mostly Blueprints as well?
Yes, that's all still set up on Blueprints, but again, it's a,
Yeah.
either read leaderboard integer or write leaderboard integer. So if you wanted to call that in code,
So,
you
yeah.
could. It's just
Use
in order to
Go.
kind of show that you could do it in both projects, we kept it on the Blueprint side.
Yeah, totally. But I think that allows people like that are Blueprint people to not have to go through the code and figure out what it looks like there. Yep.
And
cool.
at some point, like we want to keep this as a living thing. So like in a couple months, we put in the analytics nodes that we have a plugin
yeah.
for, and
Yeah.
I don't know, we left a little room in the achievements so we could add more achievements or other game modes just to show how people might want to do that in their own project, or if new engine features.
Can you do it
come.
on the moon skin? Please. And she jumps real slow.
Feature request, Alan.
Yeah. Do we need to log a Jira for that?
Anything for you.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate that. Cool. A reminder: if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, and we'll try to get to everybody's as we go through here. And stuff.
I'm grabbing up as many as I can.
But I'm actually really excited to see what people, because it's going to go on the Learn tab in addition
Yeah.
to being the sort of the packaged final product on both stores.
Yeah.
That people will hopefully remix it and make it their own, or take bits of
Yeah.
it into their
Yeah.
own game.
I wonder if we
and-
could probably even do like a puzzle jam at some point too, where we just kind of have people take this kind of logic and extend it to a point where you don't,
Yeah,
notice
for
a
sure.
lot of the under stuff anymore.
Yeah. Because, did you change some of the,
I cranked up the number of bombs that are supposed to be dropping, so we'll see.
So yeah,
you just want more particles.
yeah. Let's talk through some of the play features that are actually here that people can kind of see that we'll have examples of. So you've got, of course, the matching, the swapping. You've got those bricks that are blocking. You can't do those, so people will be able to find out how to do that logic of, oh, this can't be swapped, this can be swapped.
That was the other thing we wanted to focus on, is like some of the gameplay framework or like object-oriented, like we've got the base tile and then we've got derived from that, like a gem tile and a block tile and a bomb
So
tile.
it's built in an object-oriented fashion to where people can kind of see how to structure a class tree to build a game similar to this.
Right, which is also help, say, if Alan needs to go in and tweak something in the bomb tile and I want to go tweak something in the gem
Yeah.
tile, I'm not going, can you please check that in? I need to go make my change. Right, which is good once you get on a team of a certain size.
Definitely. And the bombs, what are the bombs doing?
Okay.
Oh, go back. Yeah, so, sorry. Yeah, so basically every time you match 3, if it causes a combo and continues to match more gems after that, it builds up this bomb meter here. And you can detonate these bombs at any time, right? But it's only like 1 at a time when you have no power.
Oh, I see.
And then as we create combos, you can see we're filling up. And then when you detonate, the bomb radius increases, so you get more and more power. Now, once you get to full, they start glowing red, and then tap on any bomb, and they all blow up. So
That's right, so full screen clear.
yeah, so it's pretty interesting the strategies that kind of developed as this thing was being built.
Yeah.
So initially, I was convinced that no, you don't want to use your bombs at all until the very end of the game, and you constantly build up your power. But as the gameplay kind of morphed and changed, it seems like the best strategy now is to just get up to the red and then blow them up.
Got
as
it.
soon as you get
Or like,
them, so.
if I fill up the bomb, then I'm like, if I only have 2 bombs, like, wait for it, try to make more bombs drop down, and then try to
You
clear
mean
the
you
board.
haven't spent months and months and months on play balance?
Well, that's the other thing, is going with like a puzzle game as opposed to something where we might have to teach more of the design of the game, right? The rules of match
Right.
3 are kind of the rules of
Right.
match 3.
Yeah.
So we got to just show how to implement that.
And it's cool too in here too. I don't know if it's by design or not, but I see there's not a whole lot of drop and then rematches, so you don't have a whole lot of runaway maps, right? Like
Yeah, unless you set it to match 2, and then you could just let it play itself.
Yeah, that's
Great.
that's up in the tile library. right
But
there, right?
did you code it
It's on,
that
like,
way
game mode, I think.
specifically?
Oh, okay.
When new tiles fall, it purposely doesn't match any of them.
We
Or
did
will
spend
it-
a little time playing, I think, with the probabilities there, as you saw on
Got it.
the grid. I know one thing that we did go balance was making the number of points it took to get a reward higher, because
Right,
for a
right.
while you could sort of marathon games, and we wanted it to be more of
Yeah.
a faster paced
Mhm. Shorter
thing.
play sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now it takes 25,000 points to get a 10-second bonus. There's like 3 medals you can get, which you're going to go towards achievements, that kind of thing. But now it's just kind of a high score. Hopefully, try to beat your friends' match 3 scores and outdo your last best round.
Yeah, where was that again? Where we can match different numbers?
Is it
That's
on-
not in.
I thought it was
Was that in game mode?
on
No,
the
no.
grid. But yeah, like we can go up from 2 to 9. It could be on the grid.
To 9.
Well, because the grid is 9 by 9. So if
Yeah,
you really
but I'm
wanted
saying,
to,
like, but-
Whoa.
when the grid
No
fills
match
in,
is possible.
if you go
No
back to the
match is
grid, it was on there on
possible.
minimum run length.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah,
There
there
we
we go.
go.
I realize I'm at the monitor. Oh, Matt, you're just gonna have to go.
This is easy mode.
But as far as like 4
match
gem
1?
types,
Match 2.
match 1 actually wouldn't will go because it's trying to never.
It's trying to find around it.
Yeah, it's trying to not place fill you in with combos when you start.
Oh.
So a match 1 board would never actually fill in.
That's amazing.
There we go. Oh goodness.
There you go.
Particle effects.
Whoa.
You're gonna save this out, aren't you, as your
Yeah,
high
right.
score? Be like everybody else.
You're gonna tweet it.
Oh my god.
All right, that's enough.
Is it though? I'm having a good time.
Okay, so.
But we've got a bunch of different
Wow.
UI examples in there too, which is
Yeah.
another thing that like all the UI in here we tried to make as event driven as possible. So
UMG?
it's all UMG.
Great.
It's UMG. Wes did a ton of work on, we've got the store screen, the settings screen that actually is the same widget you pull up either within the game or in the main menu.
Yeah.
So again, sort of best practices for having performant and easy to use UI.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And who was it that implemented it? Was you've got full touch controls for phone and all that.
Yes,
in
so
here.
you can both click on 2 tiles to swap them, or you can swipe between them, either on
That's not much fun.
PC or on mobile. So the same things work. And Richard and I worked on that.
Got it.
Cool.
Yeah, I like that there's like a full, like the whole menu stack is set up in here too, because I see a lot of
Yeah.
questions about that. It's like, I'm trying to set up a menu for my game. How do I handle states? How do I handle transitions? How do I handle everything like that, right? And I think that even if you're not building a mobile game, there's a lot to be learned from this example. I mean, it's you talked about kind of bite-sized, encapsulated, but it's complete. And I think that there's a lot to pull from that.
Yeah, like when you're restoring an in-app purchase, you want a little piece of UI to sit up there and say, just please wait, restoring, rather
Yeah.
than let you click around and
Yeah.
while the flow is going on. So, yeah, we definitely want to keep adding on to this, and as we get more features, it will definitely be something that I think we keep
Yeah,
adding
for
on
sure.
to. And lots of learning resources are going to be coming online about the same time we release this. So things about how to implement your own ads.
Yeah.
So you can just go dissect it, but we also will be putting together how-tos and tutorials over that. A little bit of a post-mortem of
Yeah.
all the
Well,
things that went into it.
And you know how it always is with our example content. After we have something that's there, we'll continue just poking around on it for our own reasons outside of what we're gonna actually ship. And so when people ask us, how'd you do that? It's like, oh, just like this, because I did that randomly on an Epic Friday because I wanted to see if I could get this thing running on the watch, or something weird like that. I don't know.
Yeah. In
But,
fact, I think this started on an Epic Friday way long ago. So
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to see you take just the little bottom part and put it on one of those Android watches.
That'd be
like
cool.
swap,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, in the grid BP object, you can specify how many tiles you have across. So if you needed to do like a,
Yeah.
5-tile version or something to fit a watch, that'd be great.
Oh, wow.
The
Do you
one-
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The one thing that's not really in there is multiplayer. At one point, we had considered kind of a match
like puzzle fighter
swap.
type stuff?
Yeah.
So you and your friend are like simultaneously trying to move tiles.
And so, we did actually have some, at one point, the kind of make sure you're the local player controller. But at some point, we're like, okay, for scope, we're going to cut that back, and it's
Yeah.
just single player. But hey, if anybody wants to go get the project when it's available and go make multiplayer match 3, I would love to see that.
What would be really cool is if you did one like an old style like Super Mario or something, where each of you are playing a different game and you each get a move, and the other one makes the other ones have like blocks or bombs.
Right, right.
I'm going to set up all the bombs in my turn.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, so the 2 buttons there, so that's like the settings screen, and then both the leaderboards and achievements, which won't work here on PC, but will work on mobile. So there we go, the
So,
main menu.
all right, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What's the hardest part of building this thing?
Probably on the art side, the optimizations, the number of optimizations that we made.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of iteration, right?
Yeah.
Like initially, the look, the layout wasn't really defined. We, as Lauren said, we pulled assets from a number of our other projects. So kind of bringing that all together under one house, I'll say, and then cleaning out some of the iterative steps. I mean, there
Yeah.
were hundreds of materials, and
Super bloated.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, we
I
had.
think, yeah, if you look at that Novitas folder, there's still some of the older assets there.
Oh yeah, we can
Yeah.
take a look in here. Yeah, so I've used this project as the subject of a couple of recent presentations, like at GitHub and Indiecade. So you could see, for example, how we did particles originally. Like this was the shatter effect. That's compiling shaders. There we go. And you know what we did there versus what we're doing now, and just a
Yay.
lot of back and forth on that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, going down. My favorite though is definitely going down from the hundreds of materials down to like we have 7 or 8 now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and then just like a bunch of material instances. So you can take a look and kind of see how we did that. Where's
That
my
fire
look?
bar is my one contribution to the art. As,
Oh.
as me. I got to
Textures,
stay though.
textures.
So okay.
Hey, it's a, you know, everyone needs fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always
Um,
works.
I think we led with it in the.
Yeah.
For me, and I think Richard probably say the same thing on the programming side, it was the timing element. So say you want the tiles to snap in, you know, as soon as you load, and you don't really care about falling animations or deleting them and making sure every tile is deleted. Putting in the timing of the tiles falling, even restoring purchases or anything where you were waiting on something else to finish. Putting in the event dispatchers, the delegates to handle that was something that is definitely more of the sort of intermediate advanced. And so I'm looking forward to getting to show people how to do that
Yeah.
because you write the code or set up the events very differently when you don't need callbacks to say, okay, I'm done falling, I'm done spawning my particles, I'm done with whatever that I'm waiting for on the screen.
Yeah, I think that for me, it's, what I'm going to get from this project is to break down that kind of, where do I start? When I want to build this kind of game, where do I start? And I know that a lot of people will just say, all right, let's get the board logic. And then, okay, got the board logic, okay, go on to the next thing, and then, but then trying to figure out, going back and going, oh, how do I get it together? You know what I mean? And so I'd be really curious, or I am very curious to see kind of how it's like, okay, great, here's what we're going to do. And then, all right, okay, here's how this works with that. And here's how this plays, how all these things play together. Because that's kind of how you make a game. You'll prototype a lot, and then you'll go back and you'll take those lessons learned, and then you'll like build the game. You know what I mean?
For sure,
And
yeah.
painting yourself in the corner of the prototyping phase is something that I do often. Yeah, I think all game developers do. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's great, and that's why they're throwaway. Next
Well, like I
thing.
said, I think I originally hard-coded the whole run of 3 for match 3. So going through, make sure there's no more 3s left in the
Yeah.
project. It's all match run
Yeah.
or maximum run length.
Yeah.
But the first thing that I did when I started with, I think, the Epic Friday was lay out the board. And as soon as the board was laid out, I was like, okay, now I have to do input because I want to actually play with the board once it's working. But yeah, it showed C++, blueprints, Paper 2D, UMG, so a lot of things that we wanted to make sure we had examples of because they're new features that people want to try out in their project.
That's great. Anything new that we had to do here that was like we've never had to kind of do before outside of building an entire learning samples game? It's like an entire learning samples game, not just like this is a cool way to handle this or that, right? Like anything cool that you learned while you're doing it.
I wouldn't say that we were nothing particularly new, but it's just a lot of interconnecting features, kind of building upon one another. You mentioned the whole fact that we built this project is a new idea. I think really that's not to be understated because
Yeah.
I mean, we treated it, really approached it as a true game development, right? Like we intended to put this thing on the store and we wanted to have in-app purchases work and we wanted it to feel good and whatever, instead of, we could have just said this is just a sample. It doesn't have to be perfectly polished and whatever. But I think we took a few extra steps to make it nice.
Yeah, that was it. That
Yeah.
was the whole treating it as something that's like this is going to be on the store. People want to download this.
Right,
thing
right.
and poke around on it, right?
Yeah, and I think the same thing for me is just learning how all of the pieces fit together. Like, okay, now we've got to go. The audio pass, I think, was one of the things that transformed a lot for me. Was like, okay, this is starting to feel like
Yeah.
it's getting polished and finished.
Yeah, audio, man. You might not realize that once audio hits, it's like, oh, there's something here now,
Big
right?
difference, yeah.
It makes
And they have to start
such a
shoehorning
huge-
in the audio. It's cool.
Yeah, I know. Even if it's like dumb placeholder audio, it's just that
Huge
feedback
difference,
is
huge
really
difference,
big.
yeah.
And I also really like that you have a lot of UI feedback. You talk about those things like screen shake and everything else you have in there.
When you actually have the phone in your hand and it vibrates too when you hit
Right.
the bombs, that's actually kind of a neat experience. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
but those are things. Those are from a design standpoint. Those are techniques that people miss out on when they're building mobile games, and they're like paramount for the experience, right? Because that's your depth. A lot of times it's just that screen, and so what you can do with it
Absolutely.
is really great.
Yeah, again, it's maybe standard features that all put together make a big difference, right? So like the particles, screen shake, and feedback in the sound, like all that stuff, just kind of it's like a force multiplier, right? Like when it's all together, that really makes it polished. So
Yeah, cool. What's your favorite part of the game?
I love particles. I like the big flashy particles. It's my favorite.
When all those bombs are going off.
Yeah,
it's all
yeah,
shiny.
totally love that stuff.
And I'm sure yours is the grid logic.
I actually really
Nerd.
like the night theme. Like
The night theme.
I
Oh,
like
yeah.
playing with the night. That was just sort of we're like, well, if we want to do the purchase, we want it to actually be something substantial. So if people do want to buy and see how it works, like let's make it something really cool. Like I think there's even
Mhm.
Yeah.
crickets on the soundtrack.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
I would say that's probably mine. The fact that the examples of all of those
Yeah.
Exterior connections.
Yeah, the
like
in-app purchasing is actually really
IAP,
the coolest part to
how
me.
to manage it and like you said, advertisement. You
Yeah.
have ads and do you have it in both?
hmm
Great. And that's all blueprint driven.
Yes, it's all blueprint
All
driven, and
blueprint
it's like
driven.
showing
We had
how
that
to.
question come up again. I just wanted to
It's,
verify.
yeah, it's all in blueprints.
Cool.
If we do achievements or not achievements, analytics, when we do that, we'll eventually do that also in blueprints because to show how it would work either way. And then just a lot of like the save game logic, like okay, if you've purchased it, make sure you like handle it so they don't have to restore every time they come back. If they change their settings, like
Yeah, and that's a big deal too, right? Like, I wouldn't just off the top of my head know how to handle that.
We
Just on
ended
a mobile phone right now, right?
yeah, we ended up writing in code a set of custom blueprint functions that would let the designers say, okay, save this variable with this name.
Oh,
and
cool.
so like
yeah, it's great.
on the code side, we said, okay, save everything that they said to save, but we didn't have to say, okay, now
Are
they
you, like,
want force
saving into
feedback.
H lists and P lists and stuff on the devices, or do you
It's
know
just
how
in
you-
the save game, like using the
Got it.
save game object. But I didn't have to say, okay, now there's a force feedback variable, and I have to go change code. It's just nope, go make as many of the save custom in nodes as you want.
Cool.
Hmm.
And you were talking about optimization earlier too.
Yeah.
Do we get the package size down to a reasonable size?
Yeah, so let's see. If I recall, it's around 50 odd megs, and half of that is executable, and half of that is content.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, look at
let's
that.
see.
We've got all the.
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah. 50 so megs on Android, and then it's 119 for 32 and 64 on iOS.
Right,
So
right.
that's for us and above,
Mhm.
which is great. Yeah.
So it will run on my phone. Yay.
Well, I'm sorry, you have an old phone. It's okay. I forgive you, Alex.
It's not that.
I think the other thing we wanted to make sure to do is that it was still a sample that, aside from the few things that require the store, still played and was dissectable and everything on PC or on Mac, so people could, still
Yeah.
see how the game logic works and
Yeah.
the blueprints and all of that.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's plenty outside of mobile. This is as a mobile game. There's plenty of things to take away from this that are really applicable to all game development, not just mobile. It's just it's fitting for such a little tiny little package. So.
It's like how many? There's so many
It's
UI
really cool.
screens just for a little game, but it's like just because you don't have that many levels doesn't mean you don't still need a level select screen and things like
Yeah.
that. So you've got like level select
Well,
options.
that was
and-
always my thing working in mobile was realizing how many menus you had to have, and you're like, why are there so many menus? When you start implementing that, the game's actually there, but.
Yeah, but have you ever played a mobile game that didn't have enough menus, and you're like, the settings menu is 2 sliders. Why? Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like
So-
volume and SFX.
Yeah, exactly.
Using SFX, like this is
Yeah.
no.
Oh,
But yeah, like I said, if anybody's not necessarily making a mobile game, there's still tons of like the UI samples, the
Yeah, I think Wes particularly did a
Yeah.
great job of how he put this stuff together. Like, where's my scoreboard right
Wes,
here?
the UMG master.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You've probably
yeah.
seen him on here plenty of times talking about UMG.
And I think we definitely want to do more training streams over this at some point, and so hopefully at some point he'll come talk about all the event-based stuff, like not necessarily just using a binding on your, like driving your score, but just every time you update score, fire that, but otherwise don't necessarily force an update.
And probably for the first time, we'll have a full project that people could have already, and then he can walk through it with them, right? Like, that's awesome. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like there's the mobile device scaling, there's a bunch of
Yeah.
other UI.
Mhm.
Yeah, actually, that was.
Yeah, handling multiple sizes is always a challenge. So
Yeah, that's a project, right? Yeah,
is that
that's
the icon?
That's the icon.
Nice.
Well, actually,
Oh, I
I
missed
think
it.
we're
Where
gonna
is
move the U up to the
There it
the
is.
top, but
Aw.
it's like it's getting to be the final
That's
icon. We're
nice.
getting there.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, this was a new something I had not messed with before or had caused to previously, but this DPI curve here, how you actually scale the UI based on which platform you're on and the resolution of it.
Yeah.
Pretty clever stuff when I figured out what was going on here. Yeah, some smart dudes working here, and dudettes, and dudettes.
Yes, many dudettes.
See, I see this and I would be so tempted to make like a weird dip so that only some phones, like a very small percentage of them, get this really weird UI scale.
Well, you-
I'm
Like
not
your-
telling Alex where this project
Yeah,
is.
Yeah, right.
Alex is gonna do that to the same people that has his same phone, so he can like start a support group. He's like, yes, I have people coming to me.
We could go ahead and add in the Apple Watch way down here,
Yeah.
and just scale it down micro size.
Nice.
Yeah, and Paper 2D is another new thing that I hadn't really worked with before. So, but as a programmer who doesn't necessarily know or work as much with animation or 3D models, I was like, oh, I just want to slide the tiles around. That's how we can go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. All right. Well, cool. We're getting kind of close to time. Do y'all have any closing thoughts about the project? When can we expect it? What do y'all
Yeah.
think?
Soon.
Always soon.
It's done.
Yeah, we're wrapping up the project. We're just waiting on some engine bits and pieces so that when they go open it, it'll be the same, nice
yeah.
experience for everybody.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, we're working on the final documentation, final polish. I think we've got a couple last things, but definitely want to get it, like I said, because it's been this passion project, labor of love. Want everybody else to get to see it and use it too.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Right on.
Well, I guess we'll touchdown. Yeah. I guess we'll probably kick up the game jam or something now.
I mean, if you really want to.
So, real quick, while Alex is prepping the things over there to push live,
I have to move
thanks, Kat.
threads. I'm moving threads.
Oh, there he comes. So good.
I love that that's my
Uh,
cat.
That's your cat?
Yeah, that's my cat.
Oh,
That's-
right.
if anyone's wondering, that's Santino.
That's
He's a very
Santino.
nice cat.
Amazing. Thank you, Santino. So Epic Mega Jam winners, I have been trying to reach out to everybody as I have needed to, but all of the awards have shipped except for the Epic's picks that we had to print shirts for. So those have gone off to print, and we should be getting them back within the next couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get all those out to people, and I owe people emails for licenses and things like that. So I'm working with both Side Effects and Algorithmic to get that all knocked out for y'all as soon as possible. So thank you for your patience. We've been trying to like dig ourselves out of the hole that we created because we had so many of you just like overwhelmed us with
I really
how
do love how it
awesome-
was like, it's going to be huge. And then we're like, oh God, it's huge.
It was so good. So thanks again for everybody then. Rewards are going out. Alex, you want to show the shirt?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
So-
so we're about to kick off the November Jam. Winners will be receiving this T-shirt with the theme written on the back. And
Is
actually,
this the one with the misprint theme?
that's the misprint theme.
This is a misprint.
Yeah.
August was not live deathless.
And another big old box of Epic swag. And we're going to raffle off 5 more NVIDIA Shields again
Yes,
this time,
so
just because why not?
to
Make it work.
emphasize, more raffles this time.
Yep.
And we're also discussing a possibility of doing another shirt for the next year, so
Yeah.
that we'll have a fresh shirt for the new year.
Yep. So, 20.
So.
Yeah, there I am again. Ray and his Ray and his general grumpiness. Oh, I miss him. Anyway, so all right, are you ready to kick it live?
Oh, yeah.
I guess we can probably do that.
I mean, sure. All right. So
That mouse.
Oh,
that I'm gonna need that
there you
to
go.
do the thing. All right. Bring it on over. And all right.
Dun, dun, dun. All
Shall
right. We are.
Oh.
Desperate diseases require dangerous remedies.
It's a little
That's a
long-winded.
mouthful.
Yes.
For a theme of ours.
But this one is one I'm really excited about because I immediately go a million places with games I want to make with this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just like before, we're judging on visuals, fun factor, and a unique use of theme. So, dive in and make something awesome. You've got
Yeah.
until the end of the day, Sunday night, midnight,
Yeah, it's
Monday?
it's just the 3 days, not a full week. Want to emphasize this is until Sunday, midnight Monday, like that 0-12 moment, you know?
Where you're really in either day.
Yeah.
Can Epic people?
I was gonna say,
Join-
Alan, what are you
yeah.
doing your game?
Hey, yeah, Alan, you're more than likely, more than welcome, more than likely. Well, more than likely as well, but more than welcome to dive in. You know, Alex and I have always joked about us doing one too. We always end up caught up in other bits, but yeah. So Aller's gonna stream again as he always does. You know, he's gonna get on and start talking about all your games, playing them through to completion. It probably won't be 66 hours in 3 days again.
No. But it should be.
But if it
really
is, hey, that's we're all in.
Yeah, this should definitely be a really interesting one because I think that the theme is so unique and different.
Yeah.
And bonus points to anyone that actually knows what that's from. So
Without Googling it.
without googling it.
I mean, did I just tell them to Google it on accident? I think I did. Anyway, so get to jamming, everybody. We can't really wait to see what you build. It's going to be great. We'll cut a new video and all that stuff, and we'll highlight them. When are we highlighting them? It's going to be. It's next week's we're highlighting them because the week after that's Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, that's right. Because we have to like do it all really quick.
Right, and a number of people have asked like, why so quick after the Epic Mega Jam? Well, it's because as we move to the holiday season, we have to front load them so we can actually be here to talk about your awesome games. So yeah, get to it, I suppose. Good luck, everybody. We will see you next week. Oh, real quick, Alex, you're on Tuesday.
I am.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're right. I am totally on Tuesday with Ian.
Yeah. So Alex and Ian are back on Tuesday to go on to part 3 of the Game Ready AI streams. Which are super awesome because I don't really know much about AI.
This is the upcoming one should be pretty interesting. We have promised we will make an actual proper health bar that will appear over the guys and then dive more into it. And then I would love to get into making the kind of good guy, bad guy interactions. And
I
stuff,
won't double
so
over the stream again.
No, yeah,
I
please
won't do
don't.
that?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun when we have the weird echo effect, but at the same time, it makes it really hard to teach people things.
Well, I just like to keep everybody on their toes, especially Clint. And everybody else. Next Thursday, we're going to be covering 410 with Mike Fricker and Josh Adams. So hopefully they're well better. And I'm glad you came back. You were out yesterday sick. It's like, no, we're all
I'm here
dropping,
just
right?
for you guys. Yeah.
Oh, you're the best. Thank you so much, Alan. Really appreciate it.
No, good fun being here.
Again, if you're at MIGS, come find us. It's going to be awesome. Alan and Lauren, thanks a lot for everything.
Thank you.
Keep an eye out for Unreal Match 3. We'll be probably making a lot more noise around it once it comes out. And we will see you next week.
Yep, see ya.
See?